Alrighty guys, we got the Estes Proto X in white and blue, and I have just flown it a couple times. I just unboxed it maybe half an hour ago to an hour, and it has a, what was that? That was 14-minute charge time for the first charge. It did not come charged in the box. 14-minute charge time. The LVC warning is 30 seconds, and you get a pretty long flight time. Like, I had 5 or 6 minutes on my first flight. I kept it in low rates though the entire flight. This thing is pretty fast in low rates. I was pretty surprised. The other quad that I had, the iQuad, which is this right here, flies a lot differently than this. It is a little bit bigger. I don't know how well you can see that, but it is quite a bit bigger. It's still a nano scale definitely, but it's probably about half an inch bigger. So it runs the same motors. So I think the motors have a little bit of a more effect on this because it's so much lighter. It is really light. It does have a little bit of a different charging. It has a charging tab, not an actual port like you see on the normal batteries. When you fly this forward, it kind of goes forward, and then when you level it out, when you stop giving it forward input or to the left and right, it just keeps going. Like, it's not necessarily trying to give itself input. It's just it has so much momentum from that forward flight that it just kind of keeps going. You kind of gotta, I guess, brake. But that's kind of one of the only complaints I have, and the only real thing that's kind of been weird to me, coming off of the iQuad, which was just a beast of a quad. That quad was super fast, super stable. Everything was, it definitely felt like more of a racing quad. This thing is very stable, very, very stable. I did have a little bit of trouble calibrating the sensors. It tells you how to do it right here, like to recalibrate your quad. You take your controller here. What you're supposed to do is you're supposed to bring this over to the corner and then go back and forth like this. And that just kind of seems stupid. That doesn't really seem like a really smart way to have that recalibrate your sensor. You're supposed to go back and forth a bunch of times. I would much rather just be something like that, or something like that, where there's one input being given, not this back and forth thing. It just kind of seems kind of pointless. I was not able to recalibrate it. I will be looking into that though. But it kind of gives you two sets of directions. Now, when I read up on the Proto X, it said that there was no rates on the review that I read, and this is a set of directions that came with it, and there's no mention of rates on the set of directions at all anywhere. But they do give you this other little kind of pamphlet thing right here, and this does show you the rates, and you have 3 different rates, which is demonstrated very clearly by this. Actually, I'm not going to bind that right now. The easy flight mode is just going to be solid green right here in this thing. The medium flight mode, it flashes green, and then the expert mode, it flashes red. Now for your angle of attack for low rates, you're probably looking at like 10 degrees, and then medium probably 15 to 20, and then high rates you're at probably 45-degree angle, maybe a little bit less, but nevertheless it's so quick in even low rates. I haven't really mastered high rates yet, or low rates to be honest. The flips are super tight, super nice. It does kind of feel a little fragile holding it in your hand, but what nano quadcopter doesn't on your first day of having it? The props are a little bit of a problem. On my very first flight, I have a friend that also bought this, and he got his yesterday. On his second or third flight, one of these props, the prop, like right on the point of contact, the actual hub, it had bent down a little bit when he had a crash, and he just bent it back up and it was ready to go fine. But what's going on up there? Oh, left the dog outside. So yeah, the props are very thin compared to the iQuad here, which has super thick, really beefy, meaty props. Really thick. These are my my first set of props on this one. I still haven't changed them. Already burnt out 2 motors. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this, but these props are a tiny bit bigger. But the thickness is just so much thicker on these. I mean, it's probably less than like 1/10 of a millimeter, but it just makes so much difference. I think it's made out of a different plastic too. These props, I actually had one roll in on me. I hit the wall at a certain angle where the prop had rolled in on itself. That was kind of a weird occurrence. I thought that was pretty funny. I am thinking about switching these props over to the extra set that came with the iQuad there, but I haven't done that yet. So this quad does come with a spare set of props. And this cool little LiPo charger. Says Proto X on it, which I like how they have the branding everywhere. Proto X, LiPo charger, give you all the information. This lights up red. It also has a weird kind of charging port for the tab charger that this has. It also says Estes on the bottom. They have the logo. And yeah, haven't had any problems with it yet, besides it being a little too fast and a little weird with your momentum. But once you get used to it, the drone flies really nice. Quadcopter. It's not a drone. The quad flies really nice and really stable, really precise. You can fly through some really small areas. I do have a little bit of a trim problem where it's either always going forward or always going backward. And because I can't recalibrate my accelerometer, I haven't been able to fix that, but I will be working on that. Like if you like the video. Please comment some tips and subscribe. And also comment what quad you'd like me to review next. And I'm going to try to stick to the nano size, but if you guys want me to move up to bigger ones, that's fine with me. Here is the Estes Proto X Nano Quadcopter.